shift you over to
I think 2-3 is fine. Message Rania, but they should
it's not like I'm shifting. I have to work very hard. So you want me to shift people? I can kind of do that.
So maybe you have some luck with
I mean, it depends how many people you can always have a Oh, you want a copy?
Yeah, I can pull these and like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
sounds-
Typically, the more history you know, the more
sure.
you're right.
I read like all the like history textbooks.
Right.
All of them like show
Okay. Okay.
all the edge.
I always have stuff to add, so what I'll do is I'll just like look at you, and if you have something to say it, and then I'll add.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, they're like either
or if you don't
either
know.
worth the least people. So they have to get up. Get up this part.
We're just gonna talk, like.
Okay, so you just want to do the two of you?
No, but you can join. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, come.
Okay, I was wondering if like we're getting up.
And like all of them are subject to like martial law until like 1866. None of them can buy like land, all their like
Probably firing. You wanted to put up some posters.
Could you tell me why you're here today?
Yes, so we're part of a hunger strike happening at McGill University for Palestine. We're asking McGill to divest from the genocide happening in Palestine and to commit to an academic boycott against Israeli institutions.
How long have you been hunger striking for?
Our indefinite hunger strikers, Bogdan and Rania, have been hunger striking for 23 days now, and Shadi has been hunger striking for 11 days.
What is the significance of a hunger strike?
We are hunger striking because protests, letters to administration, emails, calls have not been working the way we've been wanting them to work. So this is our way to express how serious we are about this and how this divestment and academic boycott is absolutely necessary, but also absolutely possible. We're asking to divest $20 million from the genocide, meaning $20 in investments in military companies or in companies that are funding the genocide. And McGill has a history of divestment, so they have divested $45 million in 1985 from the apartheid in South Africa. So in today's currency, we can expect about $131 million, and they have divested $50 million in December 2023 from fossil fuels, and we're asking $20 million. So we really believe that this is absolutely possible.
Does McGill have a role in what's happening in Gaza right now?
And that?
Does McGill have a role in what's happening in Gaza right now?
Yes, because McGill is investing in military companies, companies who are creating military technology, weapons that are sent to Israel.
And when you guys do a sit-in outside of the James administration building, what exactly happens?
We often try to talk to people who are coming in and out because it's mostly faculty or staff who are working at McGill. So we try to get their attention to sign the open letter that is currently being passed around in support of the hunger strikers. And I think it's also a way to just show McGill that we're here and that we're still hunger striking and our demands are clear and we won't stop until they're heard. As students and academics, I think it's really important to protect Palestinians' right to education. There's currently no standing university left in Gaza, and we should be outraged about the fact that Palestinians do not have access to education. And as a student at McGill University, I think that what we're doing with the hunger strike is really the bare minimum, and we really hope hope that more students will join us and that the administration will finally hear us and listen to their community.
Thank you so much. Could you tell me why you're here today?
Yeah, I'm here because I am with a group of independent students, and we started planning this hunger strike and doing this hunger strike for divestment and academic boycott. Divestment from companies that are financing or contributing to genocide in Palestine, and academic boycott of Israeli universities and academic ties with Israeli universities.
So you have been on a hunger strike for more than 20 days now?
So I'm an indefinite hunger striker, but I started a bit later, mainly because I had a few health concerns as someone who's chronically ill. The indefinite hunger strikers that started it are on day 23, and I'm on day 11 because I needed to get checked.
What is the significance of doing a hunger strike?
The significance of doing a hunger strike is really just basically we're trying to get people to notice what our university is doing, right? And so we are taking a measure that puts ourselves on the line, because we are saying, or at least if I speak for myself, I'll say that, I paid money to this university, right, to learn, and that money is not being used for my education. It's being used to destroy other universities. It's being used to destroy universities in Gaza, and actually, like, all the money that is being used right now to fund this genocide has destroyed all universities, so they can't learn at the moment, and it's also not the priority because of the genocide. It means that we are doing something with our bodies, what we can do to draw attention, which is to say we are not eating. We are taking a stance and saying, if you're going to put other people's health on the line, then we'll put ours in order to draw attention to this and to say that we don't agree and that we want it to change. Also, we believe that McGill should care about its students enough to listen to them. And with there were motions passed in a graduates, I forget the acronym right now, but there was a graduates motions passed in their graduate student association, and there was also the referendum in the fall. So the students have spoken before, and now we're just taking on the measure that we can to speak further, right? Because this is scholasticide, and what's the point of getting an education if we're stopping other people from getting an education?
What is McGill's exact role in what's happening in Gaza right now?
McGill's role is that they're investing either directly or indirectly in companies that give money to arms manufacturers and to people that are making weapons for an apartheid state that is currently committing a genocide, right? So that money that we give to McGill is then being invested in these companies that then profit and contribute to the ongoing genocide. So that is McGill's role, and because McGill has chosen to take on that role, all the students have taken on that role because we paid them.
Thank you. What are kind of the day-to-day interactions that you're having when you do this sit-in outside of the James administration building?
Mainly, I would say that it's fine for the most part. We get a lot of people who back us up and who say that they support us and that they want to help. But sometimes we do get the one or two off interactions or hostile interactions. We've had death threats both online and in person, and just today actually we believe now that it's the same person who comes, flips us off and spits on us So like we do have bad interactions, but I would say that overall most of the students, I would like to hope that most of the students and faculty kind of understand where we're coming from with this.
Thank you. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you would like to share?
I kind of just feel like I would maybe also like to add when we talk about scholasticide that also all universities at the border and the schools at the border in South Lebanon have also been closed because Israel has also been bombing there. So the occupation has also been targeting. We know that the occupation is targeting neighboring countries as well. But so I just add that maybe to the scholasticide as well. It is stopping people from getting education, multiple people, and but obviously, what is happening in Gaza is by far the most concerning thing because of the genocide and the inaccessibility. And it was Women's Day recently, and people celebrating Women's Day without acknowledging just how it is not. I saw somebody mention that it is not International Women's Day, it's Western Women's Day. And so maybe just to talk about how Western centric our views are. And I feel like a lot of the people who are against this hunger strike seems to believe that it's something that's far from them, that it's like way beyond, like it's so far removed, it's detached from them, right? They just don't believe that there's they don't believe there's a link to them, right? And that's just denying the people who have families like in those countries. I have family in Lebanon, and it's denying also. So it's denying the people who are there, right? Like their links, because it's creating this world where the West is one thing and the rest of the world is the other thing, right? But it's also minimizing how drastically their choices have an impact worldwide, right? That is what happened with globalization. All of our choices have an impact now worldwide, right? What we buy matters, what we do matters, and so that is something that I'd like to point out, that it's not removed. People tend to think it's removed. People tend to think that their neighbors or their friends don't have families being killed, or they like to think that what they do is in their own little bubble, which is horrible, right? Like, we should not only care when people are directly involved, but when we know people. But yeah, the world here is very Western, and maybe we need to draw attention to that to get rid of that mindset.
It's very important. Thank you for sharing that. Lastly, if you're open to discussing, has there been any response from McGill about this hunger strike?
We've had emails back and forth. When we first started, we got emails with them. Like they sent us an email asking for like communication. We established communication, and there was a meeting that was in the works, and we actually had a date and a time that corresponded with basically every demand that we had asked for. So we wanted a public meeting. That way, the student body and the pro-Palestinian student groups on campus and faculty could all be there. So that's what we wanted. We wanted also a couple of days notice, like 5 days notice, so that people could actually show up to this meeting. And we wanted a meeting that was a decent amount of time. And we had all those demands answered before the break. They said they were going to meet us after the break with all those demands. And then they sent another message stating that out of concern for our health, that they would actually meet us earlier. And it wasn't really like the way I personally saw that email, is that it wasn't an ask. It was, we're doing this, and in that meeting it would have been private with 8 people ish maximum, and it would have been like 48 hours notice basically. And we kind of went like, we would rather have the other meeting that corresponded to our demands actually. And if you care for the students' health, then divest. That's the demand. Divest, academic boycott. And then the last response that I'm aware of is that they said it would be unproductive to meet us, and they stated Deep Siamese email that said that basically it said that there were no plans of academic boycott, and the email was nebulous, but in my personal reading of it, but I believe that also included like divestment as well. It seemed to be like a hard no, and so they stated, as per Mr. Saini said, it's unproductive to meet you because we're not gonna do anything about this. And so as far as I'm aware, that is the last communication that we've had with admin by email. And it is also fully up on our Instagram. So all of this, we tend to post every single communication that we have to keep people up to date as to what the school is saying and whatnot.
What's the Instagram handle?
It's McGill Hunger Strike.
Okay, perfect. I guess it seemed like they were kind of open to hearing your demands, and then there seemed to be like a little bit of a change.
We were very hopeful when we got that meeting demand that corresponded to our demands, right? The meeting that would be open to the public, the meeting that gave us the amount of days notice that we asked for and would include people. We were very happy with that. It was like obviously I'm paraphrasing. There's a lot more like emails back and forth before what I'm talking about, obviously, but we were very happy when we got to that point. We felt like we were going somewhere, and then they just like shut it down on us basically and said actually no, but I still believe that an open meeting where people are allowed to come forward and talk about this, and pro-Palestinian groups on campus can also be present, right? Because I don't believe, we're independent students, but I feel like so many students have been working on it in student groups as well. It's important that everybody's in that discussion, and I think that could help show to McGill exactly who their student body is and what their student body wants, right? Because the problem right now is that we're not being listened to.
So as it stands, there's no current meeting set up.
I feel like I would be aware if there was. And no, we are we do tend to delegate certain chores to certain people, so to try to lessen the burden, but I feel like this is the type of information I would know. And no, I don't think we've had any new communications with them since.
Okay, thank you. Do you feel hopeful that maybe the university will respond and listen to the demands?
I want to very desperately, I was very hopeful with that first meeting, right, the first time it happened, but it's hard because I'm not eating, and it hurts when I walk, right, because I'm chronically ill. So every single time I take a step, I'm in pain, and I just go through life right now constantly kind of waiting for something to change. And when you've been doing that for a while, it's starting to feel a bit like my university, right? The university that I chose doesn't actually care about what its student has to say, right? And so even if I hope very much, and I do believe that it is possible, I believe that divestment is possible 100%. I think it would be so much easier for McGill to divest, right? Just repurpose the money somewhere else, just they can do so much with their money that would actually be so beneficial, like maybe not sue the Mohawk mothers. That would be great if they could not sue them. That would save them money, I feel. Maybe I'm speaking ahead of myself, and trying to tell them, but no, I think they should stop that lawsuit. I think that they're not listening to students on what they want, and just investing that money somewhere else would be so useful. They divested last semester 50 million from fossil fuels, right? It's possible. So I want it to happen. It's the thing that keeps me going, but it's hard not to be despaired when you're in constant pain.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to add? Thank you so much. Can you tell me why you're here today?
Yeah, so I'm here in front of the administration building doing sit-ins with other hunger strikers. We're here in order to bring attention to what we're doing to the hunger strike and to further pressure McGill to divest from and boycott the genocide and the system of apartheid in occupied Palestine.
How long has this hunger strike been going on for?
So, for me, this hunger strike has been going on for 23 days now. I began on February 19th with Rania, and we're the earliest indefinite hunger strikers. There's other people that either indefinitely started hunger striking later or have been doing so in relay, so a few days at a time.
What is the significance of a hunger strike?
Well, we decided to do this hunger strike because the situation in Palestine is unprecedented. Over 1 million people are being starved, 30,000 have been killed, over 10,000 children have been murdered by the Israeli state, 10,000 more are held hostage in Israeli prisons by a military court, and we felt that this unprecedented situation required unprecedented actions on our behalf, and we felt like a hunger strike was appropriate given how many people are being starved to death literally in Gaza. We also decided to do this hunger strike because our community has been already employing so many means to get the administration to listen to them. 78% of undergraduates voted for divestment and boycott. Near unanimous amount of graduates at the postgraduate student assembly voted for these same demands. We have over 1,000 alumni, faculty, and staff who signed an open letter in support of what we're doing. And moreover, students have been protesting and sitting out and teaching in and walking out and educating and writing up letters and petitions and talking to administration. All of these means have already been utilized, and we felt like a hunger strike would be an additional way to further pressure the admin and an appropriate response given everything else that has already been done.
What has been the response so far to this hunger strike?
So from the general public, it has been extremely supportive. From faculty, staff, and alumni, it has been extremely supportive. This open letter that over 1,100 people signed was an initiative even outside of our group. It was just some alumni together who decided that it was a great idea. So in that sense, we can see that we've had really great support from different people. We've had different communications with admin. I don't know if you want to get into that now or just general support. Okay, with administration, what's been happening is from the outset, they reached out to us offering to meet us. Not just anybody, these two members of admin who are in charge of speaking to students, Professor Angela Campbell and Fabrice Labou. We immediately told them that we were not comfortable meeting in an isolated, closed-door, individual manner, because this is a movement that's been going all across campus, and you have all of the students and so much faculty and staff that have been calling for this and doing this work of bringing light to these demands and to the genocide in Gaza to the administration. So we wanted we told them that if there were to be a conversation, we would want it to be open to the public, and we would want everybody to be able to sit down and voice their concerns in a democratic manner for all the student groups and individuals and faculty members who feel intense concern about what's going on to be able to express themselves. And for the longest time, administration was telling us that that would be no problem. They told us in person, sure, we can arrange that. Would you like for it to be in person or online? We said in person. And then through the emails, it was also confirmed, a date and a time was given to us. Even though they tried doing things like, because the second thing we asked for it to be public and also to have a week's notice. So they tried to take away that week's notice. They tried to make it online. We told them, no, these were the things that we asked for clearly since the beginning, in person, a week's notice so that everybody can come and be ready. And at the very last minute, they decided to cancel the meeting. At the very last minute, they asked us for an additional separate private meeting. And we told them, guys, this was clearly our boundary from the beginning. We didn't want to meet individually. They made it seem like they were concerned about our health, but we told them we're meeting with medical professionals and we're working with faculty and our health is taken care of, and the hunger strikers don't have the energy to have 1,000 meetings, so let's have the meeting that we agreed on, the public one. And right after that, they told us, we don't think it will be productive. out of the blue, and they canceled it. Even though by then, faculty and staff had already signed a letter in support of our demand for a public meeting, and even though since then there have been over 1,000 more who've written up a separate open letter. So the community is near unanimous in calling for this meeting, in calling for a conversation on this topic, and the administration ignores it blatantly. It seems to mean nothing to them what their community thinks about these issues.
So at this moment, there
Yeah.
is no current meeting.
Right now, there's no plans for a meeting. We are doing things to try to make a meeting happen on our end that I won't reveal too much about. But yes, right now there's no meeting planned with administration.
Hunger striking has been a how do I want to say this? Hunger striking has been a tool that's been used by Palestinian prisoners for a long time. Was this hunger strike here inspired by this?
So the person who originally came up with the idea was a Palestinian. It was through Student Justice for Palestine McGill, the group, that this idea was born. And the Palestinian person, Fatima, has family in Palestine, and they were very encouraging of this tactic, and they spoke to their relatives back home who also encouraged us to do this. We thought it was a great initiative. So in that sense, it was a Palestinian who directly inspired this idea.
Is there anything that I didn't ask that you'd like to share?
I would like to share one thing. Sorry, there was whistling.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
a bit confused.
I would like to add one thing, which is that we need strikes. We need not just hunger strikes, but we need general strikes. We need students not showing up to class. We need professors not showing up to work. Strikes are the way to paving a better future, because we need people to opt out of the systems that continue the ongoing colonialism and capitalism that is just draining the life out of people all over the world and stealing resources all over the world. So I want to add that strikes are very important for us to engage in, not just to opt out of the existing structures, but also to give ourselves the time and the energy to build alternatives with each other. So to build democratically with each other. And so I really want to emphasize that as we're hunger striking, we're also pushing for a larger general strike at McGill in order to be able to implement some of these things.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really
All right.
appreciate your time.